Have you ever stumbled on a message that makes your heart drop so hard you swear the world tilted under your feet? I did. It was a Wednesday evening, the sort of midweek stretch where you desperately need just one surprise that isn't yet another work email. I walked into our bedroom, Mark humming under, his breath, phone in hand, jeans half on, expecting that familiar ritual, him rinsing off after the gym, me curling up with my laptop. Instead, I caught the tail end of a notification on his screen. Can't stop thinking about you, fire. From Emma, boss. I stopped breathing. My pulse hammered, so loudly I thought he'd hear it. I stood frozen as he slipped his phone into his pocket, a smile still lingering on his lips. Hey, he said casually, rubbing his head. You're home early. My voice came out strangled. Who's Emma? He blinked. Emma, my boss. We were just texting about the budget meeting. You know, work stuff. I swallowed, fury and confusion twisting inside me. Work stuff, I echoed, my gaze snapping to his hand twitching around his pocket where the phone hid. He shrugged, as if this were the most mundane question in the world. Yeah, she stressed. About the Jones account. Needed some last-minute figures. I was just helping. I tried to steady my breathing. Then why did she text you? Can't stop thinking about you, fire. He paused, looking embarrassed. Oh, that it was a joke. Inside joke about the project title. Hot leads. We tease each other. My head recoiled. A joke. About hot leads and flame emojis. It felt like a slap. A joke. I repeated. That text looks pretty flirty. He sighed, running a hand down his face. Megan, you're overreacting. It's totally innocent. I flushed, partly from anger, partly from that familiar ache of self-doubt. Am I overreacting? I whispered. He reached for me, but I pulled back. No, I said, my voice sharper. I need to know what's really going on. Later that night, after Mark fell asleep beside me, phone silenced, body turned away, I lay. Awake in the dark, mind reeling. The words, overreacting, stung like salt in a wound. Had I lost perspective? Or was something truly off? I reached out and grabbed my own phone, pressing. New message. To my best friend, Clara. Natango House. Emergency. Flirty text from Mark to Emma, boss. Overreacting or cheating. Clara's reply was instant. Sounds dodgy. Forward me a screenshot. Censor names. I'll help you decode. My thumb shook as I unlocked Mark's profile, Emma, boss. The more I scrolled, the less I believed in hot leads jokes. There were late-night messages. I can't wait to see you. Tomorrow, you always make my day. And one with a winking emoji. Coffee after 7. My chest tightened. He's meeting her after hours? I thought. The knot in my stomach grew. I tiptoed around the silent apartment to my laptop, created a private folder, and saved everything. Each message chipped away at my certainty. Clara texted back. Definitely more than work. She's fishing for dates. We need context. Check his calendar. I navigated to Mark's shared work calendar. He'd inadvertently given me access last month for ease of planning. On Thursday, after work, the calendar noted. Coffee with Emma, downtown espresso, 7:15 p.m. My breath caught. A coffee meeting with his boss at night? It smelled like betrayal. The next morning, I confronted him again over breakfast. Pancakes gone cold, coffee gone bitter. Why coffee at 7:15 with Emma? I demanded. He looked up from his eggs, startled. Coffee. I thought we cleared this. It's a debrief for the Jones account. She's in town. In town, I echoed. She lives here, she's your boss. He sighed. I know, but she was visiting from the New York office. I offered to buy her coffee so she wouldn't have to go alone. I pressed down the tremor in my voice. Why not the office lobby? Or my place? Or the conference room? He rubbed his neck. I thought a neutral spot. I'm sorry if it looks shady. I stared at him across the table, the man I trusted implicitly. I need more than intentions, I said. I need boundaries. He exhaled. Okay, what do you want me to do? My mind whirled. Demand he cancel the meeting? Invite me along? Ask for a direct apology? Or call out the text to Emma? I needed a plan that both protected my heart and gave him a chance to prove himself. I took a deep breath. I want you to postpone coffee. I want us to sit down with HR and set clear professional boundaries, no after-hours one-on-ones. And I want you to apologize to me for trivializing my concerns. He nodded earnest. I will. I promise. I don't want to lose you over this. I let the tension drain, part relief, part lingering dread. Good. Let's fix this together. That afternoon, I watched Mark draft emails to postpone the meeting and copy in HR. He spoke with serious tone. Due to personal commitments, I'd like to reschedule our one-on-one to business hours. I saw sincerity in his furrowed brow. Meanwhile, I opened my laptop and researched workplace policies on boss-employee boundaries, drafting a mini-guide for couples. I bookmarked articles on emotional affairs versus platonic mentorship, prepared to share them with Mark, with HR, and most importantly, with myself, so I wouldn't second-guess my instincts again. Over dinner, we sat across from each other, the glow of fairy lights in the backyard flickering. Through the window, I cleared my throat. I wrote something. He leaned forward, curious. I opened my laptop and read aloud. Trust is earned in the small things. When we acknowledge worry instead of dismissing it, we show each other respect. Work relationships can flourish without crossing the line if we set those lines together. He listened, nodding. When I finished, he reached across and took my hand. Thank you, he said simply. I see you. At that moment, I realized this wasn't just about Emma's texts. It was about how we cared for each other's hearts when doubts crept in. That week, Mark and I met with HR, just us and a friendly manager, no animosity. We explained the need for clear guidelines, no solo after-hours meetings, no personal texting, and public calendar invites for any coffee chats. HR took notes, adjusted company policy, and appreciated our proactive stance. Walking back to the car, Mark squeezed my hand. I'm proud of us, he said. We tackled this head on. I smiled, relief warming me. Me too. But as autumn leaves swirled around us, I knew the real test wasn't policy, it was how we'd guard our relationship when the next spark of doubt flickered. In the quiet of our home that night, I slipped into bed and lay beside him. I pressed his phone, no messages from Emma. I exhaled. Then I reached for his hand. Good night, I whispered. He pulled me close. Good night, he answered. I love you. And in that moment, I chose to trust again, knowing I'd speak up next time because love deserves both honesty and boundaries. He canceled the coffee. He looped in HR. He sat through policies on professional boundaries and after-hours conduct like a repentant student. And for a moment, I believed we'd cleared the air, patched the leak in our trust. But work is messy, and hearts are messier still. That Thursday, I was late coming home, An urgent call with my own boss, last-minute edits too. The nonprofit grant proposal. I slipped in just as the sun dipped behind the trees, painting the living room in dusky pink. Mark greeted me with a perfunctory hug. His phone buzzed in his pocket. I hesitated. Part of me wanted to let it go, believe that HR's memo and his apology had sealed our pact. But years of innocent explanations have a way of unraveling in the dark. "Who is it?" I asked, nodding at the phone. He frowned. "Just my brother." He pulled it out. Another text from Emma, boss. I stiffened. "Already?" He glanced at the screen, then pocketed it. I told her not to text outside work. I folded my arms. "Let me see." His jaw clenched. "I promise it's nothing." "You'll see." I reached for the phone. He held it back. "You promised." "Let me see." He sighed, unlocking it. I cringed as my name popped up in the recent threads. But I ignored that for now. I scrolled down to Emma's message. "Thanks for rescheduling. Let me know if you want to grab lunch instead." Smiling face with smiling eyes. My pulse spiked. Lunch. A midday event. During work hours. Surely safer than 7 p.m. coffee. He'd agreed to no after hours. Not no boundaries at all. I looked up. "She's still asking you out." He exhaled. "She's asking about the Jones account. Lunch meetings are standard." I pressed my lips together. "Then why the winky face?" He rubbed his temple. "Old habit. She's texting everyone like that." I frowned. "Then tell her to stop." We agreed to no personal emojis. His shoulders slumped. "I will." But I felt the old ache return, seeds of doubt that needed uprooting. Friday morning, I drafted a short email, closing with our private protocol. To all team members, please note that any one-on-one meetings must occur in designated conference rooms. Personal emojis and off-hour texts are discouraged. To maintain professionalism, I hit send from my work account, copying him and HR. Policy enforcement should be universal, not tailored to one boss and one employee. Later that day, I walked past his office and peeked inside. Emma was there, gesturing with her coffee mug. Mark was on his headset. Confidentiality beeped on his screen. I hesitated, then tapped the door. His face lit up. "Hey, can I help you with something?" I cleared my throat. "Policy reminder, this includes you." I waved my phone with the email. Visible. Emma looked up, startled. Her cheeks flushed beneath her eyeglasses. She nodded quickly, setting down her mug. "Of course. Sorry, I'll keep it strictly work." Mark exhaled as I left. I felt a mix of triumph and exhaustion. The public policy move might curb her advances, but I knew better than to bank on corporate rules alone. That evening, we held our first truth hour since the HR meeting. I lit the candle, settled into my chair, and he mirrored me. I felt undermined. I began, voice steady but soft. "I saw the lunch invite and thought you're still entertaining her advances." He nodded. "I understand." "I'm sorry." I continued. "I need to know that when she texts, your priority is us. That work stays at work." He inhaled. "I promise. No more personal conversations." We closed with gratitude. "Thank you for listening. Thank you for changing." The candle flickered low, and I believe we were safe for now. Saturday dawned bright. I headed out to run errands, nipping into the cafe where Mark and Emma had once planned their 7 p.m. debrief. As I ordered my latte, I noticed her at the corner table, laptop open, swiping her screen. A new message notification popped up with his name. My chest tightened. I forced a calm nod to the barista, carried my coffee outside, and found a bench beneath a cherry blossom tree. I opened my phone and dialed him. "Mark," I said when he answered. "Where are you?" "In the office," he replied. "Then why is Emma here at the cafe?" He was silent. "She's working on the presentation deck," he finally said. "We had to meet." I closed my eyes, trying to steady breathing. "You told her no after hours, no off-site." He sighed. She needed a change of scenery to focus. I didn't want her to fall behind. I leaned back on the bench, coffee lukewarm in my hand. "This feels like the same song with different words." He hesitated, then said, "Look, just come to the office. Let me show you how much work there is." I stood, determination hardening. "No," he groaned. "Megan, I'm tired of this. Believe me or don't, but I can't keep justifying every single request. She's my boss." I pressed the phone to my ear. "Then trust me when I say I'm done explaining why I feel unsafe." I hung up before he could respond. Back at home, I collapsed onto the sofa. I'd tried policies, honesty rituals, public reminders, but the heart of the matter was trust, and it was fraying. I realized that boundaries only work when both partners value them equally. If he couldn't see how these meetings, 7 p.m. coffees, winky-faced texts, weekend cafe huddles, hurt me, then the problem ran deeper than corporate protocol. I stood and walked to my desk, opened my journal, and wrote, "I deserve a husband who guards my heart as fiercely as his career, who chooses me over convenience, who listens to my voice instead of labeling it excessive." I read the words, feeling their truth hum through me. That evening, Mark returned home late, another last-minute client call. I could see the fatigue in his shoulders, the half-smile that never quite reached his eyes. He set down his bag. I stood. "We need to talk." He braced himself. I folded my arms. "It's clear that policies aren't enough. I need a deeper commitment." He nodded, wary. "What do you want?" I met his gaze. "I want a plan that respects our relationship and his career, one that we both craft. If Emma needs help, we'll arrange a group meeting in the office with others present. No more solo meetups. No more unchecked texts. And if she can't play by those rules, she finds a new project." He exhaled, relief shading his features. "I can do that." I pressed on. "And I need you to clearly communicate this to her and to me. Not after I discover it. Before." He reached for my hand. "I will. I promise." We sat on the sofa, hands entwined, the glow of the lamp soft around us. I felt the last tendrils of doubt begin to retreat. Saturday night, we slept side by side without the phone on the nightstand. In the morning, I woke to Mark's arm around me, the scent of his pillow on my cheek. I realized that trust, once broken, doesn't mend overnight, but it can be woven back, one intentional stitch at a time. That afternoon, I invited him to our favorite park, where we picnicked when we were dating, and we talked about lighter things, vacation dreams, our toddler's upcoming birthday, the new salsa recipe I wanted to try. No mention of texts or meetings. Just us rediscovering the easy flow of conversation when neither heart feels threatened. As we walked hand in hand under the budding trees, I felt the warmth of possibility. The final test would come soon, when Emma sent that next email, when work heated up, when temptations knocked again. But now I knew we had a map, clear boundaries, shared solutions, and the courage to insist on mutual respect. And when doubt crept in next time, I promised myself I would speak before silence let suspicion grow. Because love deserves a voice as loud as fear and a partnership as strong as any corporate contract. Trust isn't restored in a single gesture. It's rebuilt every time we choose each other over our doubts. The Monday morning sun filtered through our bedroom curtains as I lay awake, replaying last night's walk in the park. Mark's hand in mine felt like the anchor I needed, but anchors can slip if they're not secured. Today would be the real test. I slipped out of bed quietly and brewed coffee in the kitchen. The aroma grounded me. He joined me, hair tousled, eyes hopeful. I slid a mug across. "Morning," I said, voice gentle but firm. He nodded, sipping. "Morning." I took a breath. "Today, I want you to lead the way with Emma." He blinked. "Okay." I pressed on. "I need you to set the terms. No solo meetings, no ambiguous texts, no off hours. Requests directly with her and copy me on that email." He exhaled. "I will." I watched him type, his typing slowed by care. When he hit send, his face revealed relief and nerves. He turned the laptop. On the screen, subject, meeting protocol clarification. To emma.boss@company.com, cc, megan.smith@home.com, HR. Hi, Emma. To ensure clarity and maintain professional boundaries. 1. All one-on-one meetings will occur in a conference room during business hours. 2. Any follow-up communication will be limited to work hours and strictly professional topics. 3. Group collaboration is encouraged, with colleagues present whenever possible. Appreciate your cooperation. Thanks. Mark Smith. I nodded, heart fluttering. Perfect. He looked at me. Thank you for trusting me to handle this. I smiled. Thank you for doing it. The rest of the day felt lighter. I dove into my work with renewed energy, confident that if temptation and misunderstanding arose, we had a framework to catch us. That afternoon, I walked past the office cafe and saw Emma sitting alone, reading the email on her phone. She glanced up and offered me a small, awkward smile. I returned a polite nod, then slipped away. It felt good to hold my head high, as though I'd reclaimed ownership of my own peace. That evening, our truth hour felt more celebratory than corrective. Candlelight flickered in the living room as we settled in. I spoke first. "I feel respected when you set those boundaries without me asking." He reached across the table. "I respect you. I want you to always feel like my number one priority." I continued. "And I feel safe knowing that if something feels off, we have protocols instead of just arguments." He nodded. "Definitely. I don't want us to fight over this again." We closed with gratitude. "Thank you for listening. Thank you for acting." The candle's flame danced low, but inside me, a steady warmth glowed. Over the next few weeks, I watched the protocol hold. Emma's messages became strictly about metrics and deadlines. No more winks, no after-hours pings. Mark even invited a colleague, Dave, to their project meetings to eliminate any chance of a private one-on-one. Each time I saw his phone buzz with a calendar invite titled Jones Account Debrief, and the attendee list had an open-door policy, I felt our trust deepen. We renewed our Tuesday cooking ritual with fresh excitement. This week, an experimental sushi rolling night. We laughed as rice stuck to our fingers. I accidentally flicked a piece of nori across the kitchen, and he chased it like a cat before we collapsed in giggles. At that moment, even the memory of flirty emojis felt distant and absurd. One Saturday, I found a letter in the mailbox, no return address, but Mark's handwriting on the envelope. Inside, a single page. "Megan, I wanted to say again thank you. Not just for giving me the chance to set boundaries, but for insisting on them. You taught me that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice, and boundaries are the guardrails that keep that love on track. I love you, Mark. Tears blurred my vision. I pressed the letter to my heart, feeling his words settle like a warm blanket. That night, I joined him on the porch swing under a sky full of stars. He handed me a second envelope matching mine. Inside, I choose you, every day and every moment. I leaned into him. I choose you too. As autumn deepened, our partnership thrived. We balanced work and home, coffee breaks, remained group affairs. Texts were businesslike, and flirty emojis became relics of a past we'd outgrown. We even presented a short talk to colleagues about maintaining professional boundaries, sharing our experience with candor and humor, always with Mark's permission. And at Emma's invitation, our story became an example of how personal integrity and professional excellence can coexist. One evening, as we organized our shared calendar for the coming week, he paused. "I'm really proud of us," he said, voice soft. I smiled at the screen. "Me too." He reached across and tapped his name under my calendar preview. "Life is better when we face these things together." I nodded, heartful. "Absolutely." Years later, I look back on that flirty text. "Can't stop thinking about you" fire, not as the start of infidelity, but as a wake-up call that love needs vigilant care. I'd remember how our discomfort led to boundaries, our anger led to dialogue, and our vulnerability led to deeper trust. One crisp morning, I found an old screenshot, the very message I discovered on his phone, buried in a folder labeled reminders. I laughed softly and deleted it, freeing us from the shadows of doubt. As I closed that last digital trace, I whispered to myself, we chose each other. And in that choice, I knew, lay the truest proof of faith in us, in our love, and in the promise that, no matter the storm, we would steer our ship together.